who would you consider the softest quarterbacks in the NFL? And I guess we should sort of define the term soft, although I don't know there's an actual definition.
I don't think we need to define it. I think you know it when you see it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Not necessarily brittle, but kind of all of the above. Who would you consider soft?
Oh, the number one is obvious. Jared Goff. Would you agree?
And he hasn't missed a ton of time, and he did play through that broken thumb, but there's just something about the way he plays. Anytime there's bodies around him, he crumbles. Anytime he gets hit a couple of times, it seems like he checks out of the game. He doesn't seem like he likes the physical part of football.
And Iggy, when he gets hit, he looks startled.
Yes. Like, oh my God, am I actually physically built enough to be on this field?
Or that wasn't hurt. Nice.
That wasn't nice.
That wasn't nice when they hit me.
He invaded my personal space.
I didn't feel safe.
That was my space. That was my safe.
That was my safe. I didn't feel safe. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't.
So Jared Goff is like when you think of soft quarterbacks, just from the face to the everything about him, how he's like the softest quarterback of all in the league. Who else?
Maybe of all time.
Maybe of all time.
Of all time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you. Do you mind if I keep going?
Oh, please do.
Derek Carr.
Yeah, that's another guy who hasn't missed a lot of games, but he's done weird things. I mean, there was a game where he lost, where it was 4th down and they needed to like convert to win the game, and he threw the ball away. He did that, and they lost. There was that clip of him maybe crying on the field, maybe not. Yeah, I would have to say that Derek Carr seems like he kind of freaks out when people are around him. He doesn't like to get hit.
Yeah. Okay. May I continue? Jimmy Garoppolo. He's one of the top 5 softest quarterbacks in the league.
And I think what was crazy when he first came to the Niners and he hadn't gotten paid yet and he was gunning for that contract, he seemed tough. He would hang in there. He would run around. He would do that little throw and duck and get hit. And ever since he got paid, he seemed much more tentative. And then especially since he tore his ACL, if you get anywhere near that leg, he freaks out and he goes in the tank. It's like he goes into survival mode. It's not good. He's definitely one of the softest quarterbacks in the league. He's up there with Goff.
Okay, I want to be real clear. Grant and I are not saying he's soft because he got injured and missed games last season.
No.
We're not questioning injuries. We're saying when he plays, if you get near him, especially near his legs, he checks out. Yes. He doesn't want any part of it. He wants to then just sort of take a knee.
Yes.
He wants to take a knee. And he has become, I would say he's softer than Carr.
Well, Carr can actually protect himself on the field.
Yeah.
I don't think Jimmy can anymore, and I think he knows it, and I think that's why he's so freaked on the field.
So, Kyle, in our last segment, we talked about Jimmy some. Now we're bringing up this other aspect of his play, which is Mr. Softy, or as we say in Brooklyn, Mr. Softy. So, do you like having a quarterback that's that soft and that injury prone? A guy who can't throw downfield very far, a guy who has trouble throwing outside the numbers. You know, Kyle, what in fact do you like about him? Because, my email is lowellcohn@gmail.com. Write to me. Tell me. I would love to know what you like about him, because I know what I don't like about him.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, a few years ago, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, all the wonderkind offensive minds in the NFL were interviewed by ESPN, I think, ESPN, the magazine. They asked, what do you look for primarily? What's the number one trait you look for in quarterbacks coming out of college? Because, these guys, they're geniuses at what they look for. I think McVay said arm talent, the ability to make throws from different platforms. And Kyle said toughness. Toughness. Because from Kyle's perspective, his scheme is the star. He just needs a guy to stand there and be tough and not give up and take the hit if necessary. Toughness. Well, that's what you don't got, Kyle. That's really what you don't have. That's the one thing you don't have at quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we named 3 softies.
Yeah, 3 softies.
We got 2 to go. One is a surprise, but who's the 4th? I forgot.
Well, this Sam Darnold's pretty soft. It's kind of ironic that the Niners they're rumored to be interested in him, considering he's just about as soft as Jimmy Garoppolo. There's a clip of him in a game saying, I'm seeing ghosts out there. Like, okay, so you're admitting that this is bad. He misses games every year. He missed a game because of a toenail injury. Seriously. Soft.
And he's the one. Joe Flacco couldn't beat him out, right?
Right.
And the Niners talked to Joe Flacco. Iggy, what's his record in his last 12 games?
10-12. Joe Flacco, 10-12. So what's the point?
That's 22 games.
Oh, sorry, 2-12. I'm sorry, 2-12. Math. He's 2-10. Wow, that took me a while. He's 2-10. He's lost 10 of his last 12.
Yeah, and the Niners brought him in to talk to.
Oh yeah.
What was that?
I don't know. They just wanted to give us something to talk about, I think.
Okay, all right. So you name, because we've agreed on this other quarterback.
Okay, well, there's one other guy that I was putting in the running with Darnold. I don't know. There's Teddy Bridgewater. He seems like a tough guy, but he just, every time he steps on the field, it's like his body explodes. So I don't know if you want to call him tough, or maybe he's tough that he keeps coming back. But the last guy I think we agree on, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, one of the best athletes the sport's ever seen, and he's soft.
I agree. He's soft. We've seen it against the Niners. If things are not going well for him, Iggy, you can see him leave the game.
Yep. Oh, he'll do it in the first half.
In the first half.
Yeah. And he'll spend the rest of the game kind of dinking and dunking and keeping his completion percentage high and keeping his quarterback rating decent, but he's not actually competing.
I agree. And it's interesting. You know, he always has a stubble. He always frowns. He looks like he's the toughest guy in the stadium. I don't really think so.
Right. Like he's Billy the Kid coming in to the saloon, right? With the little, get the hell out of here. He will definitely quit on his team if it's not going his way, because he's the greatest thing of all time and no one's going to blame him.
Right. And also, I believe he will quit if he gets hit a little.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't like that at all. And there's one more quarterback who's like that, who's a lot younger, that I kind of put in the same category. Baker Mayfield. He's a little bit of a front runner. He had a good season last year, but I saw him in 2019 against the Niners. He checked out of that game so freaking fast, and the Niners went on to win like 30-3. I think Baker Mayfield is a front-running dog, too, just like Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, Baker Mayfield, what do you think of his commercials?
They're the worst, but I think he's probably a better actor than he is a quarterback. He's a little overrated.
I'm suspicious of actor quarterbacks.
Yeah. Are you trying to cross over?
Be a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, and he's really good in those commercials. It's like, did you work on your acting? Have you been going to classes? Do you practice this? Because if you do, that's a problem. You shouldn't be this good.
Is the implication that he lives with his wife in the stadium?
I have no idea what the running joke is in those commercials, but I don't like the commercials. I can see that he's trying very hard, and he seems like he's doing a pretty good job, but who cares? Was it State Farm? Who cares?
Okay.
Sorry, State Farm. If you're going to run ads on this, I love you. So good stuff, State Farm.
Hey, Iggy, what I'd like to do is let's name some quarterbacks who are tough. Because I got one.
Oh.
I got one who I'd like to start off with. Russell Wilson.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's extremely tough. Who else is tough? Tom Brady's pretty tough.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Brady's 43 years old, and he gets hit in the mouth every week and gets up. Alex Smith had his leg blown off and came back to the sport because he had something to prove, not because he wanted to make more money.
You know what? I'm going to give you one that will surprise you. I've have been very down on Cam Newton. What he's doing next
so
year
tough.
is tough.
So tough.
He's wealthy for 10 lifetimes.
Yep.
He wants to prove himself. He may not prove himself, but he wants to. God love him. He's tough.
Also, I can't think of a player or a quarterback who's taken as much punishment as him in the last 10 years. He is just – because he's 6'5", 250, and his coaches always make him run, and he just gets obliterated. He's extremely tough. Other guys who were tough, Jeff Garcia was extremely tough.
Oh. Iggy, he's still tough. When he talks football, he's a tough guy.
Yeah. Steve Young was tough.
And Joe.
Joe Montana was tough. It really is a prerequisite. If you're not tough, I mean, you pretty much got to be Aaron Rodgers, or else you're going to have some serious problems.
I got a question for you. Drew Brees, was he tough?
I think so. I think Drew Brees was tough. The
Real
ultimate
guy?
tough guy was Brett Favre. That guy never missed a game. He was tough. Phillip Rivers once played on a torn ACL. He's tough.
I don't really like Phillip Rivers' game. Oh, he's retired now, but What a tough guy. You know,
Steve McNair, back when I was a kid, used to take a beating. He was tough. Donovan McNabb was tough. He wasn't the most refined quarterback, but God, he was a competitor. And I think he played in 5 straight NFC championship games. He's a tough guy. Yeah, it's impressive to see those quarterbacks who get annihilated and then just slowly pick themselves back up and get back to performing. We've never really seen that from Jimmy.
Oh, God, no.
No.
And what I want to say is, instead of defining soft quarterback, tough quarterback, you just see it and you know it.
Yes.
You just you look at white or you look at red and you know what they are. You just know that Jimmy is soft and Donovan McNabb was tough. Is Mahomes tough?
From everything I've seen, he's tough. He got beat up a little bit in the playoffs and played right through it.
I'd say no question he's a tough.
No question about it.
No question.